Right, folks, on today's episode of Talking Telly, we want to take you through. We're going to give you the birds and the bees of modern media. We want to talk the bad and the good. In our favourite topic,
Sex.
favourite teenage male topic, you know,
We're not teenagers.
and how it's perceived by modern media these days. Because some parts of it is great, you know, the identification of, you know, STDs, you know, talking about them, talking about how, you know, they're not saying that they're not that much of a problem, but, you know, speaking about how people can overcome them. There's new medicines, you know. Back in the day, it used to be if you got, you know, AIDS or STDs or anything like that, you know, your life's pretty much over. You can't marry.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's not necessarily like that. Like, it's good that places are getting rid of the stigma, you know, the stigma behind sex, the stigma behind pleasure, and, you know, shit like that. But with that also brings on a new generation of relationships, you know, relationship struggles, and how media perceives actors and actresses today, especially child actresses. How saying free sex positivity, you know, free sexual fucking unrestrained, and people should be sexual, they should be more open about their sexuality, can also bring about, you know, people who have morally corrupt ideas, and, you know, can be inclined to think along bounds which shouldn't necessarily be crossed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't want to go out and drop the big P, you know. I don't want to go out, especially for the starting, drop the big P word here.
Mm-hmm.
But with all the Balenciaga scandals at the moment and shit like that, maybe it is time to have a look into TV and movies role and all this.
So, yes, as you said, we will start with the bad because, you know, best to get it out of the way, best to, you know, discard the heavy topics first, you know, get everyone listening before
Of course.
the drop-off occurs with, you know, as it gets more
hit them with the wow factor, hit them with the sudden what the fuck.
But, it's just sad. This topic right now, which we will talk about for however long, is the sad part involves the over-sexualization of youth in the modern media. Like, I mean youth in specifics. I don't mean, you know, I don't know, Game of Thrones sex scenes or like these other shows showing this. You know, they're consenting adults. They can do whatever they want. They can watch whatever they want. However, when it depicts a character under the age of 18, you know, doing all these things or acting provocatively, it's like, I don't want to say
it's jarring.
I don't want to say it's like I don't want to say it's horrible because you cannot. It's like this whole topic is very important. It's important to have these discussions, to have arguments, to have shows talking about sex in a good way, and how it, or not even in a good way, in a bad way as well, but it needs to be presented in the correct manner. The main problem is when a show which has nothing to do with any form of sexualization, it's a show, for example, about the Addams Family, and it still over-sexualizes characters for no other reason than to, you know, wow a couple of the male audiences and God knows what else to do, because there's genuinely no good reason to do it if there is no point. So, Owen, could you tell us a bit about the new hit show Wednesday?
Oh, about the new hit show. So, folks, as you already know, we did a show on NPC media and NPC, you know, movies and TV shows, and I thought, what better than to start off with like the newest hit show at the moment, a real NPC show. I thought I'd start watching Wednesday, and I wanted to give my honest reviews on the show. You know, I wanted to give my honest take from the first episode, and like if I did enjoy it, I'd probably go on and watch the series and give a review. I knew, you know, I was going to watch this. I already knew that from the start. So I said, I'll watch it by myself. Just bored one night. I said, I'll watch it by myself. I'll see how it is. And I have to say, folks, it did not disappoint on the NPC-ness. Genuinely, it did not disappoint. I feel like many people agree me in saying that it's a very childlike, it's probably not the best word to describe it. It's very, like, simple. I don't know. like tries to be something it's not. I feel like that's the best way to describe this show. The show, it tries to be gothic. It's Tim Burton directing it. It tries to be, black comedy, dark humor. But it's catered for children.
Mm.
It's catered towards, kids who are trying to rebel, kids who believe they're smarter than their parents and they're, God's gift or whatever. It caters to that category, which, nothing wrong with stuff like that in a show. It's just the fact that it's after taking hold in modern media. And, a lot of people are watching the show. They're either enjoying it or they're hating it. But a lot of people are watching this show. And with that, there's a lot of media going around of the hit star, Jenna Ortega. Bear in mind, Jenna Ortega, she was known for being... she was on a Disney Channel show for a while. I don't know if this is correct, but she was on... I think it was...
Stuck in the Middle?
Was it Stuck in the Middle?
I'm checking right now. She is on Stuck in the Middle, yeah. Disney Channel show.
Yeah. I had a feel...
that's
Stuck in the Middle. She was on that, and she's known as the Disney child star,
Yeah.
And then she went on to do other black comedy, sexualized movies, such as... I think it's called X. I think that's the name. Bear in mind, folks, I haven't seen this movie, but I do know of it.
Mm-hmm.
I do know the nature of the movie.
Yeah, there's a movie called X.
I think she's in it, and she acts as a prostitute.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, she's...
Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Bear in mind, that movie is catered to adults.
Yeah, and it is, that's the point of the movie, that it's about... they're trying to make an adult movie is the point of the film, and so the whole it wants to talk about this topic, and it's not just thrown in for the sake of throwing it in. You know what I mean?
Of course. It's not just oh, we're gonna get the wow factor here. We'll just throw in.
So how does Wednesday?
Throw in scenes.
So what does Wednesday do exactly?
Wednesday episode 1. Not only is the show it's just incredibly boring.
Yeah.
It's just like the first episode, it's supposed to bring you in, it's supposed to wow you, it's supposed to, I don't know, get the juices flowing, get you excited for the season to come. But just like most teen shows these days, it doesn't actually,
Holy shit.
it doesn't like have any hook, any fucking draw in, any
substance.
I don't know, sense of wonder or anything like that. Like I'm trying to think of words to describe it, but it's just it's just so bland.
It's plain.
It's so bland.
Boring. Lack of substance.
If you read the synopsis going in, if you read the little abstract at the start, you would already know how the show starts and ends. That's how all you need to think of is Wednesday Addams. Oh, she's a bit creepy, and that's literally how it's like. They don't know who the Addams family are.
Yeah.
And they're just I don't know, a kid trying to tell a tale. That's what this show feels like. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. If it was a kid's show. The problem is, Wednesday, I believe, is 12s.
It's
not 15s.
It's 12s. It's like,
it's 12s.
Early teenager, yeah.
It's catered towards early teenager. And in the show, even in the first episode, Vermont, I've watched clips from later episodes.
14 plus.
14 plus.
12,
so yeah, okay,
12,
so it's catered
12 in the UK.
Catered at young adults.
Well,
teenagers.
Teenage, not young adults. Teenagers.
If this show was PG and it had the plot it has, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like a family friendly show. But it's not catered at kids. It's catered at, young adults. Of course they need to involve some, I don't know, sense of romantics.
Well,
but the way they say it in the show, it's very new age way of speaking. It's like, oh, he's so hot, or oh, I
don't think hot is exactly new age, but okay.
No.
Out of all the words,
but
hot,
that's what I'm saying. The talking is usually like in these 12s shows. It's
well,
like, oh, he's so hot, he's so this, he's so that.
Well, yeah, that's how. It's fair.
But in the show, they're talking about having casual flings and having stuff like that.
I do. That is actually a point. I'll quickly just talk about. We can talk about it more later. But it's the fact that this is a deeper. This is not just obviously Addams Family, but a lot of young adult shows and movies really emphasize the casual hookups, the relationships. They're constantly, oh, you didn't have sex. How could you not have sex? How are you a virgin? When it's like the average of people that have sex is. It's in Ireland in 2015. There was a report that the average was 19. In 2008, it was like 17. I don't exactly know what it is now, but basically, it pushes basically the idea that you gotta have sex. Look at these cool characters in your favorite shows. They have sex, and look how young they are. You have to do it as well.
It creates a stigma. It's a stigma around not having sex. It used to be a stigma about having sex. Now it's a stigma about not having sex. Oh, you're 16. You haven't kissed a girl yet. Whoa! Something wrong with you. Shit like that. It's just, and now it's having actual sex. It's pushing kids to have sex. It's pushing kids to send nudes. It's sending, This is. I'll quickly finish up on the Wednesday side of it. So basically, they talk about having casual flings in the show later on, and having boy toys, and having relationship problems. But the thing which I never understood about this show, and a YouTuber I was watching put a video essay up about it, is that the fact that most of the characters on this show are 14. They're 14, if not 13/15. It's varying ages, but there's no one on the show, according to Wiki and according to Netflix, over the age of 16. Yet they're pushing for this new age, new sex, new everything, and of course that's going to cause the media to sexualize these characters.
No, it's there. It's actually, I think they you can have these topics and not sexualize them. You can have these topics and showcase it in a normal way, but clearly they didn't. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with showing characters in relationships. There's nothing wrong with conveying a character's sexuality, but pushing towards the media saying, Jenna Ortega is now 20 years old.
Yeah.
She's 20 years old, but in the show she's conveyed as a 14-year-old. And on Twitter, the general consensus for the show was Wednesday is so hot. Or literally, if you look up anything to do with Wednesday or Wednesday or anything, pop up Jenna Ortega, so this, so that, things that due to Jenna Ortega. It's really a grey line if you think about it. Bear in mind, they're not saying Jenna Ortega is so hot, they're saying Wednesday is so hot. Wednesday's a 14-year-old girl.
God.
That's what really got me thinking for a while. It's like in the show, they have her doing this dance or whatever, and people are going crazy and it's so hot, it's so this, it's so that. What's a 14-year-old doing?
Yeah.
In the consensus of the show, it's a 14-year-old doing all these things. And people are like, why isn't Wednesday doing this in the show? Why isn't she getting with this guy? Why isn't she doing this? Why isn't she doing that? But you also have to remember, these are grown-ass adults writing these articles about a 14-year-old. And it's them asking for the Trophy Beach episode,
the beach,
and a show or something like that from the 90s. They're like, why don't they bring them out to the beach or something? I literally read an article on that. It's they should set Wednesday somewhere more tropic so that she's seen in in bikinis.
Jesus Christ.
And you have to this is what sparked this all for me, because it's the fact that common NPC culture sees this as appropriate. They see this as there's nothing wrong with this, But if you actually take it into consideration and take it into the fact that Tim Burton isn't going to show Jenna Ortega as a 20-year-old playing a 14-year-old. He's trying to show it as, a 14-year-old on screen. There's no if, buts, or maybes about this. This is it.
Yeah.
And just society today just thinks because we're sexually revolutionized, we should show our young characters as sexually revolutionized as well. We should show our insert characters as being sexually free and being icons and being, more relatable. But what is relatability when it comes to a child? You can't push your ideals on children. which is exactly what this show is doing.
Yeah,
It's telling young kids they should have boy toys and flings, and they shouldn't be afraid to wear bikinis and post them online and stuff like that. But should we really be teaching our kids that it's okay to post almost half-naked pictures online? Should we be teaching our kids to have casual flings and casual relationships just because the media tells them to?
Yeah.
Like, how far is too far in the sense? Like, I was thinking about, if you look at the Kashmir Side Girl,
Yeah.
like, that's a good one. Considering the fact that she set up her OnlyFans when, like, the second she turned 18, so, like, at midnight, she dropped her OnlyFans. And in the US, the legal age is 18. She made them photos days, if not weeks, prior to turning 18. So technically, it's people paying to see photos of an underage girl naked. Like, couldn't you not necessarily count that as child pornography? Couldn't that not be classed as being a bit, on the edge? But because she's 18, people just, of course, the topic was brought up, this probably isn't right. But because she's 18, you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
She decided to release her photos, the photos of her when she was 17. She was seen as a sex icon before posting the photos because people waited.
Yeah.
And, they waited for this. And they paid their money, and she became one of the top streamers on OnlyFans after only, a month or two on it.
Yeah. No, she was, literally earning millions a month. Multiple millions a year.
Earning millions, and she just turned 18. But yeah, because NBC Media believes that, everything's fine, well, once you've gone legal, you can post whatever you want. But taking the photos at 17, that'd be necessarily saying there's no difference between a 12-year-old girl right now taking photos of herself and then posting them in 6 years' time. There's absolutely no difference. How far is too far in that sense?
Yeah,
of course, it's a very stark difference.
Yeah,
mind you. It's a very stark difference.
It's a hard line to walk.
If you consider the Kashmir Side Girl perspective, she was also underage. It doesn't matter if you're 17 days, 364. No, 17 years, 364 days. Or you're 12 years old. It's still child porn.
Especially, even it's as you said, the fact that they won't say it up until they turn it, but everyone thinks about it. So, for example, Millie Bobby Brown, even recently she's gone out saying that when she turned 18, all of a sudden there were all these articles about her and, look what she wore to the gala, look how she's looking, look at these crazy pictures with her. But it's the second they turn 18, the media is like, perfect, we can do it now. We've got her, we can write whatever we want about her. And it's yeah, fair enough, they can. But it's the fact that they're sitting there and they're thinking, I hate to say this, but they are thinking I wish you could write about this super popular star, but we can't because she's too young. We gotta wait until next year, We gotta wait until next month. Do you know what I mean?
I hate that. I hate the fact that that's what media has come to,
I mean, it's Hollywood is Hollywood is a whole other aspect, but it's just it's the fact. I don't know. I feel so sorry for all these women. Not every single woman, because obviously not every single woman faces this, but it's rough to see how in the entertainment business so much of it needs to be about looks, and I'm not saying all of it is, but I mean we just saw how everything with with Harvey Weinstein happened, where it was happening for years. Everyone knew about it. They knew to become a big actor, you gotta be in a Weinstein movie, and you gotta literally bang them, give him sexual favors, and then you'll be rewarded. Jesus Christ.
It's just that is literally it. That's the disgusting side of media today. That's the worst of it. The things you need to do in order to get there.
I mean, look, I'm perfectly fine with people if someone wants it. I'm not shaming any, any hot tub streamer, anyone like Amaranth or anything. Like, they are perfectly in the right to do whatever they want and, and to benefit from it. I mean, that's smart on them. But
Oh yeah, look, make your money, but
it's bad if you're forced to, if it's we can't cast you, you don't fit this profile. That's another thing. On so many shows with young actors, have them looking like glamorous. They got like the way they do it, all the makeup, all the rings, high heels, huge tits. Like, it's so not realistic. Like, how many shows like Riverdale? They're supposed to be teenagers in Riverdale, aren't they?
yeah, they're supposed to be teenagers.
But, like, Jesus Christ, they're absolute fiends. Like, I know it's adults playing them, and everyone knows, like, the big joke, like, 30-year-olds playing, like, 15-year-olds, but...
Yeah, but still, that's also another one I want to talk about. Riverdale is another one where you're looking at, like, this is a little bit, Bear in mind, they're supposed to be playing kids in this show.
Yeah. It's all in high school.
Yeah, it's all based around high school, but yeah, practically everyone slept with everyone.
Yeah.
And they're promoting all this shit, It's like... It's almost daunting in a way how... like, what way society has gone to,
Well, I would say it's gone to because it's I feel like it's always been like this. It's just now because of the internet.
No,
it's shown
if you think about the media in the 2000s, you had your sitcom shows. You'd never have kids. Let's just say late 90s, early 2000s. Friends is a good example. Friends, they were all adults, so it's perfectly fine.
Well, yeah, but
Friends was based for adults. It was centered around adults. If your kid shows back in the day, or your teenager shows, would never have stuff like this.
Yeah.
It would never have flings and hookups and it's okay to sleep around and it's okay to do this, that, and the other. Of course, look, for some situations, like, I don't know, characters coming out and stuff like that, like, all the power to them,
Yeah.
That's positive sex change in the media. But for stuff like I took this stat, I don't know 100% the realistics of it. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, mostly because I don't necessarily want to believe it.
Yeah.
But Wednesday Addams, not Jenna Ortega, Wednesday Addams was the top most searched Pornhub, like, I don't know, what would you say, suggestion in November. Not Jenna Ortega, nothing like that to do with the character. Wednesday Addams, as in the 14-year-old from the show, was the most searched thing on Pornhub. Like, that's unbelievable. If you told people 40 years ago, hey, there's going to be a show out called Wednesday, it's about a 14-year-old girl who's like such a sassy person, she's such a this, such a that, we're going to go, crank one off to her.
Yeah,
They look at you like you're fucking crazy.
Obviously, it's horrible. It's. I mean, you basically can't get more perverted and grim than that.
It's a 14-year-old.
Yeah, I think these types of shows and media are actually we haven't even talked about. I'll give you the worst. I mean, everyone knows. I'd be surprised if you don't. Last year, or it was even 2 years ago now, the iconic movies, 2 years ago, of Cuties. The French...
we haven't even talked about this one. Dude.
The French movie, which was literally about... It was about, like, how would you say, like, beauty pageant girls who, like, did, like, dances. And they were between 11 and 14 years old, this French movie. And it literally had them wearing, like, their skimpiest clothes, like... flashing all forms of appendages and bodies, and it's ridiculous. Like, these kids they're not even teenagers, they're literally kids. It's disgusting. How can this be? Like, it's not like they're trying to showcase the bad sides. They're not saying, look how horrible, the beauty pageant world is, look how horrible
System
this is.
No, it's actually...
It's advocating for it.
Positive movie.
It's advocating for the showing more of these kids' bodies. Like, what? How? how can you like fail to grasp the innocence of a child? Like the kid doesn't know any better. The kid actors won't know any better. Like how? It's just ridiculous that is shown. And that movie made way like that movie is known for pedophiles watching it. I'm gonna say it right now. That movie made.
Oh, it is. No, 100%. If we're going no hold back here, no, it's known. It's known for pedo. Like, of course, there was all the stigma around it. Don't get me wrong. And if you did go see that movie, you know you were given a few weird stares. Just for the, but it still hit the cinemas, folks. It still hit the cinemas in Ireland. It still hit the cinemas, and I had to confirm that today. Actually, that movie was in the fucking cinemas, and it's got young kids twerking on it. Bear in mind, it gives pedophiles a means to
access it.
I don't know, not exercise, but it gives pedophiles a means to let their imaginations run wild on.
Like I think that movie got a lot in the box office, by the way, which means a lot of people went to see it, and that's. Can I guess how much it got in the box office in the world?
I don't even want to know. 300 mil.
600 and actually wait. Whoa, never mind. I read it wrong. Oh, thank God. I read it wrong. Thank the Lord. Humanity is saved. It actually got less than 1 million. Never mind.
Less than 1 mil?
Sorry, I had 692,000. I tried to say 692 million. I nearly shot myself. Oh, it was... It was close. But no. As you can see by how much it earned, no one wanted to see this movie because it was universally hated. It's not like this is not some contentious topic. This is clearly horrible. People clearly hate this, and yet how does it get past any sort of bureau or guidelines? Or how is it even allowed to be shown on Netflix? Like, how does someone not go, oh man, we gotta cancel this? Like, maybe they can post this on some other streaming service, not on Netflix, on the most used service in the world. Like, what cuties? It's ridiculous. A Netflix original. Like, oh my God.
Netflix original, and it's like this. Like, you know,
what person greenlit that movie? I can't understand the thought process. And
I can understand the thought process, and they were trying to. This is it, folks. It's a sexual freedom mindset. This is okay. We're being free. We're letting kids be free. We're letting this, that, and the other. We should not be letting kids be free. Not in this way. You let your kids come out as gay. You let your kids come out as whatever they want. You don't tell them it's okay for 12, 14-year-olds to fucking twerk. It's not okay for kids to do this.
It's not okay. It's not even safe. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, another thing is, I showed you this earlier. Recently, I think it was about 7 years ago, but it's very similar to the Balenciaga scandal. It was a scandal where in Australia, this magazine, basically, I don't exactly remember what the magazine is, but the cover of it was literally like a 12-year-old depicting in a sexual manner, wearing basically nothing, had their literally quote unquote like they just got out of bed hair, a kid wearing nothing, basically leaning against the goddamn pillar. It was on the cover of a magazine, and it's got ridiculous backlash. And what I want to say about this is the fact that the people that were doing it were like, oh, this is fine, you know, we don't intend for it to be this way, you know. If people like think this is like sexual, then it's their fault for thinking it, and not our fault for publishing it. And it's like, you are a major media outlet. It's your job to understand your viewers and to know since you have such a huge fan base and such a wide reach, you should understand the consequences of your actions. You should be able to comprehend that if you send this magazine out, that A, no one's gonna like it, and B, it shows these girls in a horrible way. Like oh man, it was awful. And like they made people defending it, and they were saying, oh, it's fine, and you know, we'll learn from this, and there's no problem with this. It's just the people that are reacting this way. It's like, no. Like, I'm pretty sure they were sued. There was very clear evidence.
This was Haven, wasn't it? This is what you were.
Yeah, it was just despicable, and that's what I think. I think the most baffling thing for me is the producers of this, because how can you produce this? What is wrong in your head to think this is fine? To do this in a way that you're thinking, oh, this is fine. These kids, they don't mind looking like this. Like, Jesus Christ, this is... It's just grim. And this is like the bad side. And yeah. Do you have anything more to add to the bad, or do you think we should move on?
Honestly, I was gonna say something along the lines of course, there's nothing wrong with not being sex positive. I feel like we've talked a lot of negative. There's a lot of positive with the media as well. Like there's a lot of good happening as well in terms of sexual health, sexual relations. Like I said, with the whole AIDS situation, the whole STD situation.
And even just making
I feel
people
like it's a lot more destigmatized these days, which is a good thing by itself. But actually going around and literally like Wednesday Adams being the most searched thing. That one was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not even the worst case of it. The Millie Bobby Brown deep fakes which came out. Wait man, deep fakes of her came out, and they were quite popular for a while. Bear one, I heard they were popular. I don't know them, so don't shoot the messenger here, folks.
Don't
shoot the messenger.
I haven't actually heard of this.
So there was a whole Millie Bobby Brown deep fake situation which happened in around the production of the 3rd season of Stranger Things. So bear in mind, she was probably still 16, 17 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And deep fakes is where you're able to put a celebrity's face onto a different person's body. And this is known through, like, I don't know, the media for, like, miscellaneous means, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
And they put Millie Bobby Brown's face onto, a porn actress's, and it basically depicted her being, fucked.
Oh.
The problem is she's 16, 17 years old. Like, she's 16, 17 years old, and they're depicting her in this way. And people believed it for a while too. This is before, like, deepfake became popular. People genuinely thought this Millie Bobby Brown sex tape,
Yeah.
And the Jenna Ortega situation, the Wednesday situation, like, the thing about it is, it's not even the first case of it.
Oh, it's not the first, it's not the last,
that's the thing, it won't be the last.
I think sadly stuff like this will exist. I think it's the only thing that can really be done is to present it in. This can be presented in a good way. This isn't some unstoppable force. This isn't some impossible problem that we cannot overcome. We're gonna die. It's the end of the world. This is a problem that isn't exactly complicated. There are ways to not showcase it like this, and if you want to, which is perfectly fine, to address this topic with teenagers, make a show about it. I mean, I think it's time. Look no further than Sex Education. I mean, I think that's a prime example of a show which tackled a medium that is, I mean, extremely hard to discuss, B, extremely hard to get right, and C, to actually do it respectively and make a very, very good show out of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, look, sex education does it all. I mean, obviously this show is about sex. This isn't Wednesday and they over sexualize it, or not to make, how do you say this is the focal point, But this show is, I mean, look, I'll just quickly talk about the benefits that it does just in the sex part. For example, it literally provides a lot of sex education. I mean, the education system is horrific when it comes to like the birds and bees and how genitals work, how STDs work, as you mentioned. And it's actually baffling that a show can do a so much better job to teaching teenagers a crucial point in their life, how their bodies work, what is to be expected, to be confident, to not be afraid, that you shouldn't be judged for all this, that it is okay to have, all these different looking appendages and to have these feelings and to have, these reactions, these unique things that you would perceive to be, oh, maybe I'm the weird person that I feel like this. But no, everyone has their own unique experiences, some more drastic, some less, and this show presents it in a great manner. And that's without even discussing the fact that this is a phenomenal show. I mean, season 1 and 2 is what I'm mainly talking about here. Season 3, I'll talk about a bit later. It is... Oh, it's awful. It's grim. But season 1 and 2, I mean, season 1 is not only one of the best seasons of anything I've ever watched in general. Like, season 1 is, S tier quality.
Season 1 is great, folks. Season 1 is great.
As I said, it showcases it. I mean, it's quite ingenious to think about it, that it's about a teenage sex therapist, which is basically what the show is about. It's about Otis and Maeve, how they run basically a sex therapy in school for teenagers by teenagers. And I mean, obviously the show shows it in a funny light, and it shows these problems like for them to solve and to earn money. But these problems that these kids face, I'm sure many viewers could like listen to it and they're like, oh my god, I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know there's this website I can check. I didn't know I could read up on this. I didn't know. Or maybe they're just too afraid because, I mean,
again, it's a very stigmatizing thing, It's difficult looking up this stuff, and it's difficult finding reliable sources, and it's difficult finding, I don't know, people to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
The 90% of the population would find it, I'm not saying would find the show like unrelatable. It's relatable in a sense, but like they wouldn't suffer the same problems as most of the characters would.
No.
Like there's a character on the show who, suffers through like a sexual harassment experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I feel like a lot of girls. This is look at this goddamn day. Look at this day and age. I actually can't imagine. Actually, I think the show does that perfectly. I think this is what the show does. We talked earlier about shows trying to showcase positive sexuality and LGBT, all these different the new wave of expressionism, and this show does it perfectly. It's not just these straight normal characters getting with girls and huge muscles, all world jocks, and we all like to have sex. It's very inclusive. Like as you said, it deals with many topics. It deals with sexual harassment, both in the lesser form and the greater form, and how shockingly normalized and how do you even say it? How offhand is like, oh, it just happens in a moment, in a random thing, and it's like, oh, it might happen again. You never know. It just does. It showcases like your different sexualities. You have many different characters that they're not just the sexuality. That's the point. It's not just, oh, you have a gay character and he's gay. That's his point. You have a pansexual character. They are pansexual. That's their point. They are people who also have these sexualities, and I think that's what I love about the show, because not only does it teach all these lessons, showcase all these different expressions of people, but they are actually great characters. They are people. They are fleshed out. They have hopes, dreams, ideas, weaknesses, flaws, and they do want to talk about their sexuality, but that's not the only thing. This show deals with so much more than sexuality. Deals with suicide. I mean, like coming from wealthy families, poor families. I honestly think let's just say I did watch this show as a teenager, but I think I would definitely recommend it to like other teenagers. Do you know what I mean? Not only for content and quality wise, but I think it could. I feel like everyone will get something out of this show, a teenager, if you know what I mean. Don't have to be huge. It can be small, but I feel like everyone would get something out of this show. I don't know if you agree with me there.
No, I do agree with you in that sense. I feel like a lot can be taken from the show, which is very good for society today.
Yeah.
But like season 3,
Yeah. Season 3 is basically the opposite of what I've talked about. And we'll talk about, season 1 and 2 in a bit, but I'll just quickly mention the downfalls of season 3 aren't because the actors have gotten worse, because they had less budget, because suddenly they have, had a mental brain fart. It's because in my opinion, they've led into it too much. And it's almost like and I don't mean by over-sexualizing these characters. It's the fact that everything becomes about sex. Like, as I've said, season 1 is these characters, they are teenagers, and they have, sex problems, sex thoughts, sex ideas. But they're also people. They also have plenty of other things. They have problems with school, they have problems with relationships, friendships, parents, all that. But in season 3, it literally becomes, and this is not like any paraphrasing, this is not any embellishment. Their school becomes the literally quote-unquote sex school. I mean, the show it stops being about these friends and these characters in the school. It becomes about this school, and then it literally becomes about the school. Oh, look at this crazy school. I'm pretty sure season 3 opens with how do we say? It's like a montage of people having sex, isn't it?
yeah, quite literally, it starts off season 3 just fuckload of characters
it's not,
just going at it.
and like these are teenagers, and what's annoying is it's not. Season 1 obviously there was a lot of talk about STDs and the fact that a lot of people do lose their virginity as teenagers. I mean, it's a fact. But it handled that topic very, like, obviously there was humor in it, but it was respectful. It, dealt with the negatives and, the few positives that it has, how it impacts, their social life, and how it impacts them mentally. But season 3 seems to just kind of toss it all out the window. It's almost like the writers have decided to just, sex is why people watch this show. They have to show more sex, more wacky stuff, more all these characters that are basically one-note characters that are all about the sexuality, when in fact you have so many other characters that are complex, that are well developed. And it's, oh my god, the show does so. This is just a non-spoiler. We could talk about spoilers later, but basically, there's a character who there's a gay couple, and they're having problems. It's whatever. It's not exactly great, but it's not terrible. They're having problems. One doesn't show his feelings as much as the other, and they're different people, so it's all about how that person shows it and not how exactly the other person interprets it. But then they're going through a light rough patch, but they're still together. And then one of them goes on holidays and just straight up cheats on him, and then with no remorse and for no reason, and then comes back and he tells him, and they just break up, and that's how it ends. This will they won't they relationship that has started in season 1, that has developed through 2, it has had so much investment, because as a viewer you want to see them be happy, you want them to achieve what they want, to have a good relationship and a friendship. But it's these characters, for no other reason than to have sex, they do it, and it's like, why does this character decide to do this? It makes no sense. And the writing becomes abominable in season 3. A lot of characters seem like, look, I think it should have been a 3-season show. It was very simple. I think now we should just get into the show part, yeah? Would you not agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think
so. I'll just lay it out. I'll full spoilers for the entire show, season 1, 2, and 3. In my opinion, I was fully under the impression it was going to be a 3-season long show, with season 1 being Otis and Maeve. They're meeting up together. They're trying to get together. They are they're not together, but it's like they're sort of think they both like each other towards the end. But then since Maeve is a head boy, and Otis gets Ola at the end, they don't end up together. But he sends her that text. Actually, wait, how is season 1? It just ends with them, like... How's season 1 actually end again? It just ends with them being apart, right? But, like, hoping to be together.
Yeah, I think it was like... No, it's not that.
Ola leaves him. Maeve goes to his house, but she sees him kissing Ola. That's what it is. But him and Ola are splitting apart. So it's like, alright, season 2 is going to be there. Will they, won't they? And then you'll expect season 3 it will end with them getting together. It's like the classic trope of the first season / movie ends on a high note, the second one will end on a sad note, and then the third one is the climax, where everyone's happy. So then season 2, as predicted, is just talking about this relationship because it's the main point in the show. They basically get, like, they're almost together for like a part of it, but then it starts to break down, so stuff starts going wrong, and then Otis makes he makes some funny stuff. He makes a meal out of it all, and then in the end he sends this text basically professing his love for her, and her neighbor who is into her, he's this disabled person. He deletes the text, and you're thinking, oh my god, Maeve could have got the text but she didn't, and they were supposed to be together but now they're not. It's like the bad end, but next season it's going to be fixed. But in season 3 it's like nothing happens with the two of them. I feel like Otis does nothing in season 3. They're like left alone in the woods for like a day, nothing happens, and like they kind of hang out with each other, but they just kind of hate each other and then hate each other less. And then there's no like character build up, there's no development, there's no interest in. It's like the show's trying to somehow showcase that they're into each other, but nothing's happening. It's literally bland as fuck. And in the end, in the end, the season 3 ends with just them not being together, and it's over. Like, they're just chilling. But there's still gonna be 2 more seasons, I'm pretty sure. It's gonna be 5 seasons, I'm pretty sure. So it's like, what? Why would you pace it out so stupidly? Like, why would you try to reel the audience in between like season 1 and 2 to then be like, oh, season 3 is invalid? Like, nothing happens with them. It's just, I don't know.
The show really, it suffers from success. That's the worst way of saying it. The show suffers from success. I feel like season 1 was so good because it went so under the radar.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really hear much hype about the show coming out, and when it came out, of course, it was well awarded.
Yeah.
But the problem was there was a lot of hype going into season 3. There was a lot of big talk. Season 2 as well, but it didn't like. I feel like season 2 was the breakout season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a lot riding on season 3, and it just didn't go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
It suffered from success in the fact that it felt it needed to be more sexually liberal. Where it felt like it could sacrifice character plots and character interactions to involve more people, but more sex problems.
I'm afraid is going to happen is this show, which was like it was a contained story about a certain group of characters, is going to spiral into like a 7-season show where like the characters will leave. Because by the way, they're in school. I'm pretty sure they're in their second last year in the first season. So like, when are they going to end? When are they going to leave? And I think my point is, I think they're going to leave in this season. And then it's going to be almost like Skins, but in a worse way.
A new season,
a new cast, a new sex ed cast, a new group with different, sexualities and different.
That doesn't make sense though for the whole plot of the show.
But I think the whole point is, it's about Otis and these people in his year. I don't think
that's what I thought the whole show was about. But yet again, Otis, as sad as it was, he was pushed aside. He was a side character. He's a side character in his own fucking show.
Yeah. It's like even like
I think season 1 was so good because it was just Otis and his reactions and his interactions.
Well, no, because season 1 was very focused on Otis, Maeve, and Eric. Like, it was the 3 of them, Like, obviously Otis.
Yeah, it was the 3 of them, but it was we saw from Otis's point of view.
Well, there was a lot of Maeve. Don't forget the Maeve and the Ma.
Look, there was a lot of Maeve, but Maeve was brought in on account of she was Otis's partner. Now, Otis didn't really need her, but she got the connection. She got a sword. She was a good side character.
Well, she's
who
not.
Then became main character.
I wouldn't say she was a side character ever.
She was a side character. So.
Not really. It's like saying. No, it was clearly that they were the three main characters. Or at least Otis and Maeve. There was.
Would you say Eric was a main character? He was a character who was there, but would you say he's the main character?
Well,
Otis is the main character.
I would say she is the due protagonist. I would not say it's Otis is the single protagonist in season 1 and 2. I think the whole point is it's Otis and Maeve. It's like the two sides of the therapy. Because it's not like it's him and her. It's like without either of them, the whole thing falls apart. He couldn't do anything by himself. He needed her to actually run it, and him to do it. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious.
Fine. If we put as them two as the main characters.
Yeah.
But yet again, Maeve was also kind of a side character.
She was not a side character at all.
Season 3.
Oh, season 3. We're not. So I'm just gonna.
No.
I'll set it. I'll do it. Look. So as we said, season 1 and 2 we had Otis and Maeve, the two main characters, and it was about. And you had other characters. You had other plots. We had Eric's plot. You had his Jean Milburn, his mom's plot. You had Adam Groff's plot. You had a couple like Michael Groff, the principal. You had head boy Jackson Marchetti. You had his plot, and you had a couple of other, and Amy. And season 2 followed that. Lily became a bit more important, and Ola became more important, and they showed Jean Milburn and Ola's dad, and the cast has kind of grown, but you still had Maeve and Otis as the main characters. And season 3 comes along and all of a sudden it gets tossed out the window. Otis and Maeve, their relationship, it's like the therapy, not anymore, man. No one cares about the therapy, it's out the window. Maeve and her friends, out the window. Like, in season 3 it was mainly... Oh man, I'm trying to... Like, Head Boy became a lot more important, but... I don't think even season 3 had a main character. I think there was a bunch of side characters. Like, I hated your one, the American one that came over. I guess she was the worst.
Oh, the American was so bad.
She was awful. I don't remember her name, but she comes over and she's like this, like Headboy just completely falls over her, which is like, alright, fair enough. We've seen that he's dreamy and he like sees things in other people, but it's just that they had no chemistry together basically, and it was. I don't know, it felt wrong. It was like... I can't describe it. The character was, oh, I'm bi. And that was it. Like, it wasn't like Otis, who has these sexual problems, but also has his estrangement with his dad. The fact that his mom is a therapist, he feels intimidated by that. Or Maeve with her parents, where her ma is her like sole provider, but Maeve is basically independent. And with her little sister, which basically the man kidnaps, and there's all these problems. Eric and his family, and he can't really feel like he can come out to them because of their religion and the fact that he's black. Jackson Marchetti, him being, a hopeless romantic with Maeve and other characters. But also his very important, his sport, the fact that his parents are pushing him to do it. And he enjoyed it up until he realised this is what he wants to do. He wants to be himself, and he meets the other one. But then... this American one comes in and she literally just is cool person with skateboards and is bi. And smokes weed.
No, she was non-binary, that was it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
She wasn't bi, she was non-binary.
And she hits him with he says some line to it and she's like, oh, that's what your cis male brain thinks,
Oh, I hate that.
And
I remember cringing so hard. This is what your straight male brain thinks. What would your mom and dad think if you were gay? And it's like, well, I have two moms. They're gay as well. So I was like, wait, I'm not gay. What? You're a girl.
Oh,
I was like, no, technically technically you'll be gay because I don't have a gender. Like, what?
Yeah.
That makes no fucking sense.
It's
Not that it makes no sense, but you know, why does he become involved with the LGBT community if he's dating?
I think the fact it's a one-note character, she doesn't offer anything more. It's not like
She doesn't offer anything more.
She's not
than being
interesting.
gay. No,
she's not
it's
funny.
true though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. She doesn't offer anything more than being gay, but yes, she's considered an icon, like a queer icon. I feel like anybody gay these days is considered a queer icon. I fucking hate that as well. They try and make characters gay who aren't gay. I don't like that as well. I feel like I need to go on a little rant about characters who,
like
you know, their sexuality isn't like explicitly like on the like. It's not like put down in stone. And nowadays, it's like everybody's business to give them a sexuality. It's like, oh, this new character on this show, you know, it's, oh, they don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend yet. Make them gay, or make them trans, or make them, I don't know, fall in love with a gay character, or make them this, or make them that, or, you know, what happened to the days where if there was a gay character, that's grand, that's fine. But it wasn't necessarily implied that characters are gay. It wasn't necessarily implied that this character needs to be gay for the show to do well, or this character needs to have a revelation and then come out, you know?
I think it doesn't need to be. Obviously, if you want to, there's nothing wrong with that. But I also think you can just add it, and it can just be like. The cool way to deal with it is like, oh, there's a character and he's gay, but it's like, here it is. It's not that what you just said, that isn't inherently bad. The bad part is people do it, and then the character is one note. The character is only gay. He only talks about him being gay. He only talks about getting to people. This isn't a character. This isn't like some person who is also gay. This is a gay character. It's like, there are some characters that are literally just straight, and they only talk about getting with girls. That's equally bad. That doesn't make it better. I think you do have a lot of the problems where writers think we need to and put in diversity, and instead of getting an interesting character, fleshing him out, and having him be gay as well, they just drop in the gay character, and they make that the focal point, which it's just a shame. Like it shows. I'm trying to think the way, like, for example, Legend of Korra handled it. It was very. I'm not a huge Korra fan. There are many problems in it, but it was just handled very normally. She wanted to get with, like, she got with these guys and didn't really work out, and she just got with a girl, and that was perfectly fine. No one went crazy. No one was going, "Oh my God, you're gay! You just came out! What the hell?" She is into them, and so she gets with them. But she still needs to save the day. She's still too cocky. She still struggles with her spirituality and with being the Avatar, and she has all these flaws and strengths. And she's also gay, and that's perfectly fine. And I think that's what characters need to strive to be, you know? I think it's too much one-note gay characters. And I do think it's unfortunate because there are people that think gay characters are bad because they are only gay, when it's really the writer's fault for making these bland characters who are this. And I think that actually harms the LGBT community, if you know what I mean. Because you have people thinking, like, why are they turning my characters gay? This is so stupid. Well, it should never be a problem. We shouldn't be talking about this because it should just be such a non-factor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. I don't know if you were talking at all. Yeah, I can hear you, by the way. The podcast can definitely hear me. So, oh, he's gone. Hello? Hello? I don't know if he can hear me, but I'm just going to continue talking. When he chimes in, then I'll continue, because the recorder can still hear me. But, I think... off the top of my head, I can't... let me quickly check. Yeah, hello?
You can hear me, right?
I can hear you now, yeah, it's a bit crappy quality, but yeah. Oh, hello? Oh, you're muted now, you're back. Hello?
Right, that's working, is it?
Yeah, it's working. It's a bit shitty quality, but whatever.
No, it's because I don't know why, but my earphones must have just fucking died. They must have just like.
No. Well, anyway, you heard what I was saying, yeah?
Yeah, I heard it all.
I think
the problem was it just went from my speakers.
Yeah, the thing is, like this is what we need characters like Oberyn and Renly that are like gay or bi, but they're perfectly fine with that, and it's not a major character. Like obviously, it can be a point. Renly is gay, and there are people think in Game of Thrones, oh my god, how can he have it? Like, how is he gonna get a child? There are rumors about him. They're politicking on him. They're trying to make it a weak point of his character, and that's fine. It can be important. But it cannot be the only thing, Eric Effiong isn't just a gay person. He also struggles with his religion. He struggles with school. His friendship with Otis and Maeve and Adam, who bullies him but also has these feelings for him. It's these characters with depth who also are gay, and that can be a large part, but it cannot be the only part. As no character can only just be one note, as they'll just be bad. And as I said, I think it's a shame that gay characters are. Look, they're attacked. Like, the internet is a horrible place for. It's a perfect place for people to just attack anything and everything. And everything will be attacked. And it's a shame that you have a lot of gay characters, be attacked for just being gay. And it's a shame that they cannot. It's a shame that it's not oh, this character sucks because he's boring and he doesn't offer anything. It's he sucks because he's gay,
No, I get that. It's almost like, I don't want to say it. It's almost like. Actually, you know what? I won't say.
Type it into the service. Type it into service.
I was gonna say.
Well,
no, I feel like the folks at home need to hear this too. I feel like the folks at home deserve to hear the fact that I believe it's like media is trying to push being gay on kids. It's not like it's okay to be gay anymore. It's kind of like you're a bit weird if you're not. I want to say it like this.
Well, I definitely. I told you that I won't edit this out, but look, I can understand why you think that, but I heavily disagree with that. There are definitely people that do push it. I don't think the general media does that. I do think that there is a wave of influx of. I think there's pressures. I think what happens is you have these CEOs and you have people in the boardrooms, and they think, all right, we need to show expressions, and we need to show these different walks of sexuality. And I think what happens is they go, they have that these characters have to be gay. They have to do that, and it's perfectly fine if they are. But I think there's definitely a lot of times when writers they're sitting there, they have characters, and they're being told, you can't make this unless this character is gay, or like you need at least one, or you need at least a couple of gay characters. Which, look, it is a bit. In this day and age, it would be if there is just. How do you say? It wouldn't be a bit weird if there was just something with a bunch of straight white characters. Like, it is non-inclusive. I do think that you need to show the world as it is, because there are a lot of gay and LGBT and multiple different racial people. I just think sometimes there's this idea of we need to have them, when the way it should work is you have them, and it's a good thing, it's a benefit. I feel like sometimes people think we just need them in, when it should work to the benefit of the character and not to just please some big suit, or to please this journalist in Kotaku because he wrote a scathing article about how there's not enough gay characters in this.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I was gonna let you keep going, but yeah, I 100. it's all to a sense, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
all to a sense. I feel like, of course, it's great to have gay media and all that, but I do like. Did you hear about the yet again on this podcast was the Jenna Ortega situation
Mhm.
where they pushed, like the media pushed her, and the CEOs and all that pushed her to come out as bisexual.
Oh,
Did you hear about that?
no.
Look up Jenna Ortega pressured to be like to come out. I think that's the way they had it. Like I watched this video and basically it's on Jenna Ortega and it's her in an interview room and
Mhm.
they're talking about, oh, so you recently came out as bisexual, and she's like, no, not necessarily. I didn't necessarily want to come out.
Mhm.
And it's like a big ha, a big funny, you know.
Mhm.
And you listen to this like they push her to come out
Mhm.
just because in the show Wednesday Mike Adams is it's not implied that she's gay, but they want to imply it.
So, I think we've addressed some important topics today. I think we handled it well. Obviously, we have our own opinions. Maybe you guys at home disagree with us, and that's fine. Unless you disagree with us about the pedo thing, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, well, then that's a lot
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
That's that should be checked out.
But we hope you enjoyed. We hope you stayed and watched this whole podcast at YouTube, on Twitch, or whatever location you watch it on. We hope you subscribe, follow, like, subscribe, all of the above, all the buttons, everything that can be pressed should be pressed because we extremely appreciate it. And yeah, we hope to catch you all in the next episode. So yeah, see you guys.